It's Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. Let's talk about the news. From the Wall Street Journal, Iranian President and Foreign Minister killed in helicopter crash. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, the country's foreign minister, and 7 other people have died in a helicopter crash in a remote and mountainous part of the country, seemingly due to bad weather conditions. Raisi was sometimes called the Butcher of Tehran for involvement in the execution of thousands of Iranian political prisoners in the late 1980s, and he was a reliable ally of the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, in the country's non-religious political structure. Many of Iran's allies and neighbors have expressed condolences and declared periods of mourning, and new presidential elections will take place within 50 days, Iran's vice president stepping into the role of president in the meantime. From the New York Times, International Criminal Court prosecutor requests warrants for Netanyahu and Hamas leaders. Karim Khan, the prosecutor for the International Criminal Court, has announced that he's requested arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, Israel's defense minister, and 3 Hamas leaders for war crimes and crimes against humanity related to the attack on Israel on October 7th and the subsequent attacks on Gaza by Israel. This request still has to be approved by judges before those warrants are issued, and Israel does not recognize the ICC's jurisdiction, nor is Hamas likely to care over much about what the court has to say. But this is still embarrassing for Netanyahu in particular, and could complicate travel for those who are being targeted by these warrants if they're issued, as it means they could be arrested if they travel to one of the 124 countries that are members of the court, which does not include the United States, but does include most European nations. And from Reuters, new Taiwanese president calls on China to stop its threats. In his inauguration speech, the new president of Taiwan, Lai Ching-te, said that peace was the only choice in the region and asked China to stop making military and political threats against the island, which China claims as its own, but which operates independently. Lai's accession to the presidency has been a cause for concern amongst some of Taiwan's allies, as he's been a proponent for formal, overt independence for the island, which China has signaled could trigger some kind of attack. Taiwan currently operates in a sort of superposition enabled by a lack of clarity about its status, most of its allies assuming it to be independent, but seldom saying it outright, to avoid triggering a response from China, while China says it belongs to them, but does not do much beyond posturing to show that this is the case. There are concerns that Chinese leader Xi could be planning to more formally claim Taiwan sometime this decade, and that too much talk about independence, especially from Taiwan's government, could provide justification for such an attack. If you're finding some value in one-sentence news, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.